were great. If one of them couldn't make it, the other one was there. Sometimes they were there together. But I mean, all season long, we couldn't have been more on point. I would have a conversation with Dave going, man, that last game, we need to guard the center and we need to really work on the left side. 2 seconds later, I'd get a text from Brian. Chad, we really need to guard the center and work on that left side. These guys were all hurt. I really thank you guys for the season. Not really easy. I'd also like to thank Jacob because from the beginning he walked in today. Anytime, just let me know. I'm out to help. He has a lot of experience and he took a couple practices, he took the boys, he was there a bunch of times. Jason's grandfather, who's not here, he came out a couple times and did home training for Logan and James. And Logan came back and I'm really learning a lot. So just for those 2 times, we really appreciate it. Now the parents. Oh, I mean, all the coaching I've ever done. I've coached a lot of teams. Softball, baseball, soccer, and every time we get together with coaches, they say, hey, you know, I've got this parent that's doing this, and I got that parent that's doing that. My standard thing is like, look, I've coached undefeated teams, and I got parents who play. I've coached teams that have lost 20 games, and I got parents who play. This team, not one time that I have anything but support from you guys, the best group of parents ever. We've got a meeting here, 13 kids need to be here, all 13 are here. That's how we had it all. I have to point out specific people. Albert, the keeper of the banner. I told him, hey, this is no big deal. You should open the banner and say, I have to repair everything. Every time he comes, he's like, hey, Chad, now I'm trying this extra. I'll solve it. This will work. And the next time, Chad, I'm trying to fit it. He shows up one time, he's got it together with his magnet. That's the guy. That's the guy. Well, I wanted to say thanks, Sally, who did help us with picture day. She was out there. She had to work for 11 hours. Anything I needed, she was there for me. Our photographer, come on, man. How many photos did you take? 1,000. Thank you very much. Those came in very handy. And finally, I wanted to thank our movie maker. Where's Michael? Come on. If you guys have not on that site and seen those movies, then you have to do it. I kept telling him, he stayed up late at night, and I'd watch it right before I go to bed. I go, hey, Michael, I can't go to sleep after I see that. I want to play. Thank you, Michael. Those are very special. And now, boys, I guess you guys did something, right? Played a few games. We got your medals, and your medals come around your neck, and all of them have a second place button. So that means you guys took second place. That was a tough division to do. 8-2 for the season. Fantastic job. And we also, me and Christy go on Team On. Thank you very much. We put together an action shot from Diana's picture in a frame, a TV frame, for each kid. Everybody gets one. We're going to start with Enoch. Look at this picture. You can't see it. He's just getting loose like Enoch does. I mean, that kid is all over the Enoch, hold up. And a little bit of a cutout from the banner. Oh, and for the Trout family, got everybody goodie bags. We're like getting a trophy. I can barely get it. Yeah, this is the beast. So I would say it's time to unleash the beast, and that's Rowan. Now Rowan was on Logan's team the year before, and when I knew he was on this team, yeah, he's a good player, and I was really happy to have his dad as my coach. But man, this kid came out with a vengeance. The most aggressive defender in the whole league. I mean, if anybody was coming up against him, they should think twice. And you know, in the beginning, there was a couple of games where he was too aggressive, and he was just going after the ball. He would argue with me and say, no, then they would pass it away. Finally, we got him to shut down the look. You're part of the team, hold the center. And the time that he did that, we were going up against the last game of the season, playing the undefeated team. They crossed the ball perfect, and Roland was right there, drilled it out, and I go, you know what, we're going to win this game. The minute I knew Roland was on point, on the plan, they were done. Great job. This kid, I like to, he's the smartest strategizer on the team, Brandon. The great story about Brandon is so, you know, every year there's a draft, they give you a bunch of names you have, and some kids you know, and some kids you don't know. And I ran his name on there, and there's no rating, no nothing. Like, oh, where's this kid? He shows up, dribbles the ball for about 3 seconds, and I think I looked at David Wright, and I was like, yes! This kid is good. And he's the most cerebral player we had. He was the kid that was doing give and goes and setting up some of our best offensive attack all season long. And it wasn't before I even taught him how to do it. And once he did it, he was unstoppable. Great job, Brandon. What's that? This is the only kid on the team that goes by the moniker Foot. An interesting backstory with Jimmy is at the beginning of the season he wasn't on my team. I had another kid on my team, and I knew who this kid was, and I was talking to Logan, like, you know, I know that kid. The only thing I know about that kid is he kicks pretty hard. Well, the other coach who had Jimmy said, hey, I've got to switch a player because I've got a confusion. Somebody has to use somebody. And I'm like, all right, I'll get Jimmy. Jimmy comes out, kicks the ball, and it's like a bazooka shot. I just made the greatest trade in the world. And Jimmy, I can't tell you. Jimmy got hurt halfway through the season. When he wasn't there, we really felt it. But when Jimmy came back, we didn't lose a game the rest of the season. That's all you need to know. Great job. Who do I got? Ooh. This was one of the kids when I knew I had the season, I knew how good he was, and I'm like, all right, I've got my center defense. I'm not worried about that. I can build my whole team around it. And I'll be Kevin. Now, a lot of you might not know that Kevin's a player. He's younger. He could actually play in the league below. But he was the rock back there for defense. When he was back there, I just didn't have to sweat it anymore. He was always in the right spot, always gave me 100%. The only problem I had with Kevin was, I want to play offense. That's what he said all the time. I just can't afford to put you there. When you're in defense, they can't stop. Keep it. This is another great statistic. They scored the least amount of goals against our team, and there's our center defender. This kid was our center forward, and talk about making a big leap. I think it was like the second to the last game of the season. He was up there, and in 2 plays, he made 2 perfect give and goes, and I'm like, that's what I've been waiting for all season, and that was Isaac. Isaac was our center forward, and ran around, having the best time, always has a smile on his face. Ladies, got it right now, show everyone. And I know for a fact from day one to where he's now, he's a much better player, and he knows that position. Even Coach Dave came up to me and said, hey, that guy's sticking in his position now, so great job. This guy was the most feared guy in practice when there was a scrimmage. Nobody wanted to go up against Andres Otero. And I first called him Andres the Terrible, and he looked at me like, that's an insult. I'm like, senior, and with the guys that were really new, I thought, hey, I got to teach him one position, and I locked him in as my left fullback right from the beginning. And those last 3 or 4 games, this kid was clearing the ball all the way to the other side of the goal. In the beginning, he was the first 4 games was, Andres, move! Andres, left! Andres, left! Last 5 games, like, good job, Andres. Paperwork. James is a friend of Logan, so at first I'm like, hey, great, James on the team, and he's a good kid. But I found out he never played before. I go, oh, what am I going to do with James? And we get up there in practice, and he had some skills as a defender. He was left-footed too, so I'm thinking, okay, he wants to be our left fullback. Well, it didn't take long before he said, I want to play goalie. I want to play goalie. Sure enough, Jimmy had started out on my goalie, and he said he didn't want to play goalie, so I swapped James in there. And from where James started to where he is now, I wasn't even worried about him at the FNC. This kid made, let's talk about against the Avalanche. Probably the best forward in the whole league comes up against James. We're only up by 1, locks it down. Not only did he stop it, but he didn't let it bounce off, because if it would have bounced off, the guy would have finished it. So James nailed that. The other thing about James, I was telling some of these folks out there, you could put a 9-foot tall guy with a cannon for a leg 5 feet in front of him, and he'd kick, and James would just go, come on. No flinching, not scared of anything. So great job, folks. Jonathan the Orange, as he wants the game known, because he would show up to every practice in a bright orange shirt. And I thought, I guess he just likes the color of orange. And then I found out it was diabolical. He thought, hey, if I wear orange, I have a 50% chance to be on the team that's not orange. And then I can use that as a cover to get the ball more in practice. I've been seeing genius. Well, when we started out, Jonathan's another boy that hadn't played before, and right away he showed me an aptitude for positioning. So I stuck him over at the right halfback, and if you'll notice, even in the videos that Michael would send out the pictures, when there was a play going down that field, if you look over, whether he was involved or not, Jonathan was always in the right spot. And then we came down to the game against the Avalanche, where I could tell Jonathan, you're always in the right spot, at some point you're going to get your shot. Now we beat that team 1-0. They're no longer undefeated, and this is the man. Now, this picture is perfect. Ryan dribbling and 3 guys chasing him. Every team needs a heart of the team. Is the motor that never stops. It's an unsung position that Ryan has at center halfback, because you don't realize that half the reason that the ball is always on that side is because he's going back and getting it and bringing it up. All season long he did that. You know, you wouldn't consider him much of a goal scorer because he was just a kid who kept bringing the ball up all day long like just the Energizer Bunny. Except for against the game, against the Wolverines, when it was a 2-1 win, Ryan comes up the field, dribbles by the first defender, then proceeds to dribble by Jacob, the best defender in the league probably, and then way outside, and I'm like, he's way too far. Boom, goes back there. Oh, maybe he's not too far. This kid's no good. Logan. My son Logan, last season in spring, started playing goalie. I noticed that he's not the fastest and quickest kid, but he was really smart about cutting the angles. And if you don't know much about goalie, the key about goalie is to be where they're going to kick the ball. Move to where that ball is so you have an opportunity. And all season long, Logan was in the right spot when it came to that. He did a great job. I don't think I can remember a goal that scored against him that was his fault. He was was always in the right spot, did a heck of a job. But just like James, just like our defense, we had the least amount of goals scored against us than any other team in the league. Logan's a big part of that. Also, it was hard for him because last season for Dave, he played left halfback the whole season, made some nice goals, made some nice passes, so he didn't get to do it as much. But the time that he did, he made some important plays, and he did a good job. Now Jason was the official last member of TZ. He came on and he had never played before, and after a couple weeks I realized, he's also a little bit like Andres in the beginning, the first few days, out of position. Jason, you gotta move, Jason, you gotta move. But very shortly after that, there was very little Jason got. Jason was in the right spot a lot, and he became very aggressive. And he pushed guys that have been playing for 5 or 6 years outside all season long. He did a great job. You're a part of the team. This kid, I don't even know how many goals he had. It was a lot. You know, I know he had at least one game where he had a hat trick, 3 goals, but there probably was more. He scored the lion's share of our goals. But he's not just a shooter. He would dish them off, make some nice passes. Him and Brandon sometimes work together, which is the thing we do. The other thing that Dylan did that everybody here should learn from is the follow-up. Every time there was a goal, every time there was something shot at the goal, even though it was near the goal, Dylan was right there. I don't care if the goalie was right about to pick it up and he was 15 feet away, Dylan got his face. And Dylan probably got 3 or 4 goals by doing the follow-up. So for our lead scorer on the second place team, and just an all-around fantastic player, great job. That is the end of my notes. Thank you everybody for just a great season. Very, very satisfying, very, very fun, and I think the boys learned a lot, and I really, really enjoyed it. One of the best experiences I've ever had. So, great job, TZ. Good.